whether it's 2-base Mortar or 1-base Wasp Stinger, 1-base Scorpion Stinger, like that kind of stuff. It can be very difficult to deal with.
The aggression is definitely not easy to kind of come by at all, or to kind of get answers to. Is Clem's playing the more or less the trigger kind of basic setup, at least, with the Gunbot Wasp, and then Lorimbo's playing Scorpion, Blink Hunter, King Crab's Destroyers, and Snipers.
Hey, Clem has assault bots, by the way, or advanced bots. I love those, mate. The tier 3, they're so fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love them.
Fun. I saw you playing with them a little bit.
Yeah, every time I can get them, I will get them. They sound so satisfying, and they can just stand there, and they are so good against units like Crusaders and King Crabs. It's incredibly fun to build them.
Single Scorpion has sneaked around and is just going to come running through. So Clem might have to make a couple units he doesn't want to necessarily to go deal with this. I'll just bring the Scorpions back. He's going to build a couple gunbots. And we are waiting to see Tech or Expand.
They're waiting. They're playing Tech Chicken right now.
Yeah.
Who's doing what? They both have the money for it, but they don't want to be the first one to make a choice here. That's cool though. Claymore definitely showing respect to Lorimbo. He is the first one to just drop that Expand. Lorimbo's gonna drop his Expand as well.
Yeah, eventually you just want to put that down. So now we're just gonna stay on the basic units for a little bit, and yeah, I mean, I think the combination, just having gunbots in the back makes it so that Scorpions are probably not going to win many fights if there is any number of gunbots here. So got to be kind of careful with the fights that we take, as it is going to be Clem to jump onto that third base initially. Going to start up over there. The Scorpions are going to start coming through, and here are the gunbots as well to make this maybe a little bit tricky.
Yep. We have Tech on the way for Lorimbo. He's going to go for Foundry, so we're going to see some King Crabbies eventually. Clem is going to go air. He can make Mammoths, he can make Falcons. We're going to have 2 battles at once as Clem is trying to go for a little Wasp run by, but very good defense so far by Lorimbo. He always left units in his natural, left a couple of units in the main. Does need to be careful here. This fight in the center is not going to go Lorimbo's way because the gunbots of Clem have showed up. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the gunbots are so good. I do not feel like the Scorpion should be that good against the gunbots, and just again, the ability to kind of kite, like that's the one thing the gunbots are so good at. If they just get to kite and there's nothing else shooting back at them, they are amazing. Clem gets rid of a bunch of workers on the natural as well, so now we're going to be struggling economy-wise. As obviously, if Clem builds a bunch of Falcons, Lorimbo needs to respond with Blink Hunters, and that's pretty much the only anti-air he can get. So Falcons are so difficult to get rid of when it's those when it's only the tier 1 anti-airs that come into play. Not feeling so great for Lorimbo, especially with the economy he's missing on the natural now.
Yep, these fights in the center are nowhere near good enough. He does have a few range units here himself, as he's already thinking about NTR, and that will actually be nice. King Crab is to save the day. Does Clem have any overclocks left? Yes, he does, so you can actually get them to safety. If you don't have overclock, by the way, King Crabs can get some devastating hits up on your gunbots. I mean, Lorimbo is absolutely battling here, but here come those Falcons, and this is not a fight that Lorimbo can take at the moment, or anytime soon even.
Falcon's just going to be the answers for Clem everywhere, as he's also going to send them up to the top side. A couple of Wasps to buy time to stop the workers from going down. It's going to make this a pretty cute defense. He is going to start killing some workers, though. Okay. I mean, the Falcons are very slow going as well. Wow, we got like, what, 2/3 of that mineral line. That's wild.
Oh, 4, 4, and 2. What are they? 10. All 10 of them. Yeah, sorry, Hardyful. I'm trying to avoid that, but I'm just trying to show so many things at once. I've been struggling a little bit with not making the observing shaky.
You want to like follow everything, right? Like, yeah, it's tough without having like a way to just follow a certain unit.
Yep. Trying to do better, Hardyful. I'm sorry. That's a lot of Falcons over here in the center. This is going to be very difficult. I don't think Lorimbo has enough here, man.
Yeah, Falcons just feel impossible to fight against. Like these. The thing is, if the Blink Hunters try and target fire the Falcons, they just die on the ground. Yeah. In the meantime, Falcons are very, very difficult. It's why I started playing the Valkyries as my tier 3 like air type, because I just trying to fight Falcons is so frustrating if you just don't have anything else. So, and a lot of people kind of fell in love with the Falcons over the last week or two. That's for sure.
This might be a moment where if you're Lorimbo, wouldn't you want to swap out your Destroyer for Heavy Hunters?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think the Destroyer has value against what Clem's playing.
No. I think like the King Crab can absolutely hold its own, even though I do think Crusader Gunbot is incredibly sweet against King Crab anything. But yeah, if you have to worry about these Falcons all the time, then you may as well try to sneak in the Heavy Hunter and see how those games play out.
Yeah, I think if Clem's willing to play air, then you have to have just a better response to that air. Like, you just have to have something that's going to kill the Falcons, because They are extremely powerful. It's kind of crazy how good they are.
It is obviously scary because Crusaders are incredibly good, and I do feel that most Crusader battles go very, especially if it's Crusader Gunbot, King Crab, whatever, is gonna have a very difficult time dealing with that. But let's see. I have the feeling that Lorimbo is absolutely willing to switch it up, and that we will see some changes to the decks here in the middle of this best of 7.
Yeah, no, I think that's one of the things we've not seen maybe as much of today so far, but it's obviously one of those things that, you know, these are still some of the first times these guys are playing competitively and feeling out how, like, best ofs work.
Yep.
So we might not see that much changing of decks, but I would not have disagreed. Clem's going to change up completely. He's going to play Blink, Shocker, Destroyer, still got the advanced bots in there. I think Clem, like you said at the start of this, is very willing to switch it up. Lorimbo, I think, is very much so more going to want to try and kind of stick to what he's most comfortable with, most likely.
Yeah, I'm actually just smiling from ear to ear because Clem, he's so good at video games, man. It doesn't really matter what you make him play. And he's just going to be so... He's going to feel so comfortable with almost every single opening if he plays it 5 or 10 times. You know, I'm playing 100 games with Gunbots and I still don't understand a lot of the interactions. And Clem, he's going to play Blink, he's going to play Scorpion, might even play Krabby, man. Like, I will not put it past Clem to actually play Krabby and see if he can make Krabbies look good.
Crabs have been okay lately, man. I don't know about you, but I lose some games to them crabs. I was hating on them, and then they turned out to be better than I thought.
I have lost against Krabby too, but I do always feel like it's my own fault. We have 2-base stack against 2-base stack this time around. Crusader, excuse me, no Crusaders. We have obviously Shockers and Destroyers against King Crab and Destroyers. These trades are going really well, by the way, for Clem. Lorimbo needs to be careful. I don't know if you can really be here, man. If you're playing Scorpions against ranged units, like Scorpions, yes, before they were Mega Busto, but the new patch has already hit. I feel like we're donating way too many units here.
No, this is horrible for Lorimbo. He's lost way too much. Blinks are so good against the Scorpions as long as you just don't let them get surrounded. The Scorpions need to be in 2 packs, constantly forcing the Blinks to kind of come forward, trying to wrap around so they can't just kind of fight all the time. Whereas this has just been Clem just blinking, trading, never really taking damage, and now he's got so many blinks, and that just means that there's not enough buffer when the tech units come online in the next few moments, and this does not feel good at all. If you just build a set of Shockers here, I actually think we're just going to be good.
Yep, now Shockers are kind of slow, but it's going to... Okay, Clem needs to be careful, obviously. He doesn't want to lose too many of his blinks. As Lorimbo setting up a massive Scorpion counterattack, but Clem wouldn't be Clem if he doesn't just leave one spotting unit. This one blink guy on the top left side is so massive here for Clem, because that's going to give him the heads up that this is happening. Imagine if Clem would have rallied all these slow units to the center. Could have been problematic, as Clem could be in a tiny bit of trouble here in the center. Those units, obviously, that Lorimbo had for the run by, they can turn around. Clem is perhaps in a tiny bit of an awkward spot here, right? I mean, I know they can blink, but eventually you got to move to the left, Lorimbo, exactly. You know that they're gonna escape towards the top left, or they somehow go back to the center. But look at them King Crabs go.
Yeah, King Crab's gonna be very good if they get on top of the blinks. It's usually just the issue of getting on top of blinks for the most part, but that was a lot of blinks lost. And I'm surprised Clem didn't start bringing his army out. I felt like he was meant to kind of bring this forwards and kind of greet this at some point and try and save those units, but just never happened. As it's still on 2 bases each here, I mean, Clem's army is so good against Lorimbo's if you can just take a straight up fight, but the slowness of it might be its downfall.
Yep, and obviously if King Crabs can get on top of the Shockers, they can die very quickly. And Lorimbo's going up to 3 bases. I was actually wondering if maybe attacking up the Snipers would have been a play. But Lorimbo is willing to send it. Can he take care of these Shockers? It doesn't seem to be the case, because the Destroyers are just so freaking good against King Crabs, and Lorimbo's gonna tap out immediately. I almost wish he would have gone for tier 3 there and see how Snipers would save the day, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe go tier 3 and then just because you've got map control and just kind of keep on darting around and buy time to get the snipers, and then snipers are terrifying if they just sit in the back and just pew pew pew.
Especially because Clem's army is obviously rather slow there, right? Shockers are slow, Destroyers are a tiny bit slow. So if you can tack up to tier 3 there, maybe that would have been a chance. It was just a rough start for Lorimbo. In the early mid game, it actually started to look a little bit better as Clem got a tiny bit carried away with his blinky boys. But in the end, Clem just takes an amazing fight. And Lorimbo thought he had an opportunity there. I think you've had this as well, right? Where you look at an army and you're like, okay, I know that army is good against my army, but if I could just ambush it like this from the side, I'm gonna do fine. And then you get in range and Destroyers just melt everything. The Shockers melt everything, and yeah, before you realize that you messed up, you're already dead.
We're gonna go into game number 3, and we'll see if there's any deck choice changes once again. Clem has definitely been mixing it up, and there we go. Hey, he's playing the Wardy deck. This is exactly what I play right now.
One base, King Crab Destroyer.
Well, that's wild from Lorimbo. It's actually very tough to hold with Wasp Hornet, right? Because it's just so like the Hornets cost so much. While they're not super like power expensive, they cost so much of the red resource. It's very hard to get like enough of them up without like completely hurting your Wasp number. And then even then, I actually don't know if like holding this is going to be super easy. I think Clem needs to like probably like instantly tech with the money he's got, and then try and just wait and wait and wait, and then just spam units on the one base and try and just jump on it.
He goes air. He goes air, so he goes for Sting or Dragonfly. Interesting.
It's still scary.
Lorimbo needs to be careful, by the way, because obviously with one base all-in, we really cannot be throwing away any units.
Yep. Yeah, the Wasp's obviously on the map. Clem does know what's up a little bit, as Scorpions do not want to get surrounded. Scorpions getting surrounded by Wasps does not end too well, but in a fight like this, Scorpions should be pretty okay. Here come the Wasp from the other side. Clem was just taking a moment to bring those back. Now he will get the wrap around, and this is a lot of your frontline buffer just dying, as I think Lorimbo got a little bit over eager. I love the idea of what he's doing, but now you're going to have King Crabs and what, like 4 Scorpions on the way across the map too?
I mean, King Crabs are sick, though. They're going to be sick. And Clem is right now counting down the seconds. Lorimbo probably needs to kill a lot of workers immediately, right? Like, just dancing with the units. You're not going to kill the main. Go for the workers then, no?
Yeah.
I don't like going for the main at all.
No, I don't think the main ever dies in this situation. And the moment Stingers pop out, Stingers destroy King Crabs as long as they just don't get on top of them. So yeah, Stingers pop, King Crabs are going to absolutely melt. The few Wasps that build will just tank, and yeah, Stingers will just never give these King Crabs a chance. Hitting the main base is a wild decision.
Yeah. I feel like we could have literally tried to attack anything other than the main. I don't know if it's ever going to work, because even if he kills a bunch of workers, like Clem, his tech is going to come online. Maybe we just lost way too many Scorpions, right? Because those Scorpions are important too. Imagine if you save a bunch of those Scorpions and you can battle Scorpions and King Crabs at the same time. Then you can split off 12 Scorpions in the natural. You can kill those workers, and then the King Crabs can destroy the workers in the main. Yeah, like this. This wasn't going to go his way. Poor Lorimbo. He's having a tough time with Liquid Clem.
I think if he has the Scorpions as well, even if he's just on the main base, when the Stingers spawn, he can actually surround some of them straight away instead of just being immediately stuck, right? So I think that was kind of costly as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, obviously. It's incredibly tough to figure out what you're supposed to be doing against Liquid Clem. This is the third of 8 best of 7s that we've got today, guys. Every single best of 7 has $150 on the line for the winner and $50 on the line for the loser. What I also love, by the way, about Battle Aces right now is that you see certain openings, you see units, and then people have very strong opinions, and often they are the complete opposite of each other. One believes it's a free win, the other one believes that you're dead. This is what I always love about the early stages of a new RTS.
Very different, again, by the way, from Clem, as he goes recall, all the recalls. He's got recall shockers, advanced recalls, everything, man.
Clem is just putting on a clinic here, by the way. It's like, hey guys, new game with a lot of different units. You should try it. Meanwhile, everyone else... I think of that meme, you know, with the one guy who looks cool with the hoodie and then the angry nerd. It's like, you can't possibly be good with all the openings. And Clem is just like that cool guy. He's like, yeah, I can play every single opening and I'm fine. A 3-0 lead for Clem in this best of 7. One map win away from winning 150 buckies. Can Lorimbo at least get a point on the board?
And tries to get aggressive with the Scorpions. Not a bad idea. If you can catch 1 or 2 recalls on their own, force a recall. Maybe it's late, you can do well. I don't think this is the sort of number of recalls you want to fight into, because they'll get some free shots, recall back, and you're never going to do well against the recalls in the base. We are just going to go immediate tech on both sides. I think this is actually one of the times where the advanced recall is going to be very, very good. Like, King Crabs, yes, if they get on top of them, will kill advanced recalls, but advanced recalls will kill King Crabs before they even get a chance to move forwards. Like, the damage output those things do is insane, so... I'm very interested to see what Lorimbo does about the advanced recalls. I don't know if like he's got enough splash. Like, it feels like you need range splash damage, and that obviously doesn't exist with King Crabs.
Maybe you can go tier 3 and go snipers. I just want to see some snipers.
You want to see
today,
the snipers,
buddy.
bro? You're into them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are good. Whenever I played against them, I always get obliterated. So I kind of want to see them. I want to see if they die. You know, I want to see somebody make snipers against Clem, and I want to see them fall. Interesting combo. It almost feels like Lorimbo is going to full send it. He's just going to go mass King Crab Scorpion, and he's got a couple of blink hunters as well, and he's going to blink forward. He's going to close his eyes and pray that whatever he has is good enough to get on top of whatever Clem has defensively. 3 base Clem against 2 base Lorimbo. For Lorimbo, this is really it. This is the Hail Mary. We're down 0-3 in the best of 7. Can we get a point on the board? I love the idea of splitting off just a couple Scorpions. It may not be much, but it's honest work. I'm just waiting for that forward blink of Lorimbo. It has to happen, right?
Yeah, it has to. Look at the King Crabs just falling though. Advanced recalls putting in the work already. Clem can get rid of the King Crabs so quickly here. And if that AoE doesn't exist, I just don't believe in those Blink Hunters. The problem with recall is they are slow to kind of come forwards and reinforce because they have the recall to make up for it, but yeah, the moment they do start fighting, it's going to start looking pretty good. We can recall in, but I don't know, man. As the King Crab gets melted, yeah.
Man, those advanced recalls are indeed very good. I was like, oh, that could be risky. Never mind. No. King Crab obliterated. Just like that.
They're surprisingly good because they just look like a little unit, right? So you don't expect them to like pack so much, you know. And then they start firing. You're like, holy goodness, how are those things doing so much damage?
And sometimes it's really a little bit hard to figure out as well if those are the advanced blinks, or if it's just the regular recall guys, because everything just blinks in, and it's hard to immediately see because you see the animation. What is what, but that is going to do it, Rotti, for our 3rd series. Unfortunately, Lorimbo did not win a map. I'm sorry, Lorimbo. He's complaining in Twitch chat. Someone had to play Clem, mate. We can't exclude Clem just because he's good at the video game. Next time, if we ever have another series, Lorimbo, I promise you it will not be Clem. GG's though. Thanks for playing.